Your teeth make no sense. Look in the bathroom mirror and you will see something you brush, check, and pay to fix. A wild wolf has never once seen a toothbrush. So why are you the one with the cavity? And it goes far beyond the wolf. Sharks, horses, beavers, deer, crocodiles, bears, and big cats never got a dental appointment either. No fillings, no crowns, no cleaning. Yet the forests and oceans are full of animals chewing just fine. Millions of them, every day, with nobody looking after a single tooth. So how do they manage it? Are their teeth harder than ours? Is there something special in their spit? Do they just get lucky? Or do they simply die young before their teeth have time to rot? One tiny detail in what they eat explains most of it. And by the end, you will look at your own mouth differently. Start with a myth. Wild animals absolutely do get tooth trouble. Lions snap their canine teeth on bone, and elephants crack their tusks. Old deer grind their molars down to stubs. Wild mouths get infections and abscesses too, with no one out there to treat them. For a wild animal, a ruined tooth is often a death sentence, because an animal that cannot bite or chew cannot eat. So wild teeth break, wear down, and hurt. One problem stays strangely rare out there though. Wild teeth almost never rot. Here is how a cavity gets made. Your mouth is home to billions of bacteria. One kind, called Streptococcus mutans, has a favourite food, sugar. When it eats sugar, it makes acid. The acid sits on the tooth and slowly dissolves the enamel, the hard white shell on the outside. Give it sugar day after day, and that acid melts a hole straight through. The hole is a cavity. Now look inside a wild mouth. A wolf lives on meat, fat, and bone. Horses chew grass all day, and sharks swallow fish whole. A wolf tearing at a fresh carcass drags meat and sinew across its teeth again and again. That friction works like dental floss the animal never has to buy. There is no refined sugar anywhere on that menu. The cavity bacteria may be present, but their favourite food never arrives. As for the spit, saliva washes acid away and repairs enamel in every mammal. So your spit does the same job as the wolf's. A cavity works like a campfire. The bacteria are the flame, and sugar is the firewood. In a human mouth, the wood keeps coming. Cereal, soda, cookies, the bread on your sandwich. In a wolf's mouth, there is no firewood at all, so the flame never catches. How often sugar arrives matters as much as how much. Every time it reaches the bacteria, the acid attack starts over from zero. That is why grazing on snacks and sipping sweet drinks all day does more damage than one dessert after dinner. That is also why a wolf can skip brushing for a lifetime and still keep clean teeth. You can test this idea without leaving your street. Pet dogs eat cooked and processed food, and tooth and gum trouble in pet dogs is common. Veterinarians now clean dog teeth for a living. Dental disease is now one of the most common health problems veterinarians see in adult dogs and cats. Zoo animals on soft prepared diets get tartar and toothaches too. Keepers saw the same trouble in animal after animal, from big cats to bears. Once modern food replaced wild prey. Same species as their wild cousins, just fed differently, and their mouths show it. A wolf and a husky carry nearly the same mouth, yet only one of them ever needs the vet. The protection was in the wild menu all along. Ancient skulls tell the same story about us. Early hunters and gatherers left behind jaws with barely a cavity in them. Farming brought more holes. Grain-based food is also softer and stickier, so it clings to teeth and feeds bacteria for hours instead of minutes. Cheap factory sugar later blew the numbers wide open. A 2013 study in the journal Nature Genetics read the hardened plaque on ancient teeth and watched the cavity bacteria take over on schedule. Our food changed long before our teeth could, but the missing sugar explains the missing cavities, and nothing more. Food is only half the answer, and the other half is darker. Wild animals get by without dentists because almost none of them live long enough to need one. That guess about dying young was the closest one. Nature knows perfectly well that teeth wear out. Its fix is simple and cold. Growing a replacement tooth costs far less than building one indestructible enough to last a lifetime. Most wild animals never have calcium and mineral to spare on the harder option. Keep replacing the teeth, and when the teeth run out, the animal's time is up. For many wild herbivores, worn teeth are one of the most common ways old age ends. before disease or a predator gets the chance. Watch how each animal plays that game. A shark grows new teeth its entire life. They move forward in rows, like a slow conveyor belt, and a fresh tooth slides in whenever one breaks or dulls. One shark can go through thousands of teeth. Behind the front row, several more rows wait ready beneath the gum, already grown and simply waiting their turn to rotate forward. A crocodile keeps replacing any single tooth for most of its life, and only slows down when it finally reaches old age. A beaver's front teeth never stop growing. Wood grinds them down every day, and they grow right back. The front of each tooth is faced with enamel that contains iron, which is why beaver teeth are orange. The softer back wears away faster than that hard front, so every bite sharpens them like a chisel. Beavers share this system with every other rodent. Mice, rats, and squirrels all carry front teeth that grow without end, kept the right length only by daily gnawing. For a beaver, that endless growth serves a purpose. Those teeth are the tool it uses to fell entire trees and build a dam. A beaver that could not keep sharpening them would lose its only way to build a home. A horse is born with extra long teeth packed deep in its jaw. Grass sounds gentle, but it is loaded with tiny, glassy grit that scours teeth like sandpaper. So the horse's teeth keep slowly rising out of the jaw as wear takes them from the top. The rise and the wear run at nearly the same speed, so the grinding surface never disappears. Year after year, fresh tooth arrives from below, just as the grass eats the old tooth above. The horse survives the grit by outlasting it. Each tooth holds a deep reserve, spent one bite at a time. A very old horse has quite literally used its teeth up. At that point, it can no longer grind tough grass into something it can swallow and digest. Then comes the elephant, and the elephant is the one to remember. It gets 6 sets of huge grinding molars across its life. Each new set pushes in from behind as the old one wears away. The new molar begins forming long before the current one wears out, so the changeover never leaves the animal without something to chew with. When the 6th set is gone, there is no 7th. The elephant can no longer chew its food, and it slowly starves. That is the ordinary end of a long elephant life. Now hold your own mouth up against all of that. You get 2 sets of teeth. Baby teeth first, then adult teeth, and the adult set has to carry you the rest of the way. Those teeth were shaped from meat, roots, and tough wild plants, long before sugar showed up at every meal for decades on end. You live decades past the point where a wild mouth would have given up. Wild animals do not survive their teeth. You do. Look at what every filling in your mouth really does. It patches enamel that nature would never repair. A crown rebuilds a tooth that a wild animal would simply lose and starve without. Dentures work on a different idea entirely. A shark or an elephant renews its own teeth from inside the jaw, over and over across a lifetime. A denture gets fitted only after the last natural tooth is already gone. It is built from material no living jaw ever grew, and it can still buy decades of extra chewing. No other organ failure gets treated so routinely. A full set of replacement teeth is something millions of people simply pick up at a clinic. An elephant's 6th set of molars is the last one it will ever grow. A human dentist can keep adding more, set after set, for as long as the patient is willing to sit in the chair. A filling can also crack or wear out after years of chewing. It cannot repair itself the way living enamel once could, so it eventually needs replacing too. In the wild, a worn-out tooth is often the beginning of the end. Part of the answer is food. A wild diet never feeds the bacteria that melt teeth, so the fire never starts. Part of the answer is harder to admit. Nature never planned for an animal that could outlive its own teeth, and then one did. So tonight, when you stand at the bathroom mirror, take one good look at your teeth. Every filling and every crown in there bought you years that no wild animal was ever given. The wolf keeps its teeth clean to the end, and the end still comes early. Your teeth have already traveled further than any wild mouth was ever built to go. Remember the elephant with its 6 sets of molars? That system is far older than the elephant. Mammoths ran on the same plan. 6 sets of grinding teeth, used up one after another across a long life. But a mammoth's molars made an elephant's look small. Each one was roughly the size of a brick, a flat, ridged grinder built to mill tough Ice Age grass all day long. Teeth like that only exist for a reason. They belong to a colder, harder world that built almost everything bigger. The bears were bigger, and so were the beavers. Even the deer carried antlers wider than a car. So why did that world build giants? We answered that in a full video. It is called "Why Was Ice Age Megafauna So Much Bigger Than Today's Mammals?" It is on your screen right now. Those brick-sized teeth belong to something enormous. Go meet the animals that carried them.